So here we are again. A bit later than usual, but we're we're treading about around the same ground that we used to tread. But first, my colleague here saw a movie, so let's go over
I saw
that.
the Eternals.
Yeah,
The most politically divisive sorry, I should say most critically divisive Marvel film at this point.
I think
Well,
both are true.
yeah. Okay, so, yeah, I thought it was pretty bad. Um, I'm just gonna be
Who
honest.
who didn't?
Um, okay, so right now it has a 2 million opening. It has a $2 million budget, 71 million opening weekend, which isn't the worst, but that's not good either. But besides that, let's talk about the film. So, okay. Um, Bad decision after bad decision that individually don't seem like bad decisions, but together they form a chimera Captain Planet of a bad movie. Um, did you hear about did you
Sure.
hear about the scene?
No, I didn't. What is the scene?
Okay, we open in Hiroshima, and the black gay eternal Fastos goes, "What have I done?" After the mushroom cloud went off. After
The
the nuclear.
fuck?
That's an actual scene in the movie, my friend. Uh, as it's kind of a joke, but yeah, Fastos caused Hiroshima. Now, look, he didn't actually cause Hiroshima. He's going like, the technology I have taught to humanity has led them down this path. Oh God, all the atrocities. The Eternals didn't stop. You know, just normal Eternal things. But I'll tell you this: like the movie, the movie's biggest problem is two things. One, it honestly has some of the least interesting characters in the MCU, and you might be going like, well, most of them are Cripsters, but these guys lack so much personality and screen presence. It's insane. Um, I honestly think Cersei so far is the worst MCU main character. Um, Now some people will be like, "What about Captain Marvel?" And I'm like, she's bad. I don't like Brie Larson that much, I will admit, but I honestly think Cersei is worse in terms of just not having emotion, like just terrible stuff, and also exposition. Dear Lord, this movie's almost like entirely exposition, I feel, and it annoys the fuck out of me. Because, like, we have to explain this. Oh, wait, we have to explain this. Oh, wait, we have to explain. Yeah, no. It's crazy. Anyway, the movie's bad, and you probably shouldn't watch it, and I made a thread on Twitter if you guys want to read that. But yeah, not good. Not good. Anyway,
All right.
I wanted to give that at least short review of like, hey, we're going to talk about Metaverse, and I figured, why not?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, let's just mosey on down to what is essentially going to be our main topic. I mean, it's. I mean, seriously, it's it's not enough that we ended up with Earth 2, and we all know my feelings on that one. But holy shit, because we all thought that Earth 2 was a bad idea, where everyone's just and where everyone's playing in their own virtual world. That's an MMO that some people shilling for Earth 2 have somehow mistaken for mass media online RPG instead of mass
Mm-hmm.
multiplayer online RPG.
I have already bought my plots of land.
Yeah,
I own an acre in Kansas.
but here's what made Earth 2 so laughable. It's a bunch of It's like a bunch of guys in an indie studio promising to make what is essentially what they are calling Ready Player One.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
It's just. Uh. Now, let's imagine an entire company. It's like AAA company promising this. Not just any AAA company, it's the entirety of Facebook promising this stuff.
Yes. Look,
It's just, we've all kind of been here before with like all the oh jeez, what the hell is that logo? NFT stuff that's continuously promised by like every other like virtual land plot selling snake oil salesman on the internet at this rate. But now Zuckerberg's getting on in on this. Well, he's not doing it by the NFT standards. He's doing it by the social media standard, which even then somebody's already beaten him to the punch. I mean, I've watched the hour-long presentation just before starting this stream, just to get an idea of what he was doing. Just
yeah.
his own, what is essentially an E3 presentation. It looks like it belongs in an E3 video. And essentially, what he's planning is what I could only describe as a VR
Yeah.
chat. It's just VR chat cross with Facebook, cross with, I guess, PlayStation Home, cross with God knows what else.
Uh,
Plus online storefronts.
um, sorry, you kind of broke up there for a sec, Mike. Hello?
Oh, great.
Okay.
Am I still here?
Uh, I can only hear myself now.
Yeah,
Fuck.
but I could hear you. What the hell's going on?
This is special.
I am going to check my stream. Because,
That is fair.
yeah, because come on. Don't. Tell me I am still audible.
I can hear you. I can hear you now. You're audible to me.
Alright. Actually, I really should have. Alright, so yeah, that's working. Alright, at least I know that's working. But yeah, it's like. He. Oh yeah, plus with a mixture of augmented reality. Because apparently it's like, oh, it's like one of the things he advertises, like, what if your friends is at a concert and you want to be there with them? It's like you could just teleport right there and you could be seen through these augmented reality goggles. You could have like
Hmm.
street art turn into 3D art in this very nightmare fuel esque fashion. Holy crap. Yeah, the 3D art demonstration that he did, it was like, it looked like something out of a Lovecraft film. Well, not modern Lovecraft film, but a Lovecraft story. It, or better yet, it actually reminds me of that scene from Back to the Future 2 with the hologram.
Hmm. Yeah, no. It definitely does give me kind of like memories of that with that whole thing.
Yeah,
To be fair, a lot of people are trying to do this whole digitally owned shit, you know?
yeah, the whole NFT thing, which is another thing that Meta is promising, and
Hmm.
that's that's another thing. Metaverse is technically a genre. Can you really name yourself that?
Um,
That'd be like if
here's
someone named their first-person shooter game Shooter Game.
well, this has actually been debated a couple times. This actually came up with Cyberpunk 2077 because it calls itself Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I could understand that.
Um, technically, Metaverse. Here's the thing: it's hard to call something a genre. Like you have to prove it, and
But yeah, that was just a weird thing. Oh yeah. And besides the whole like online virtual world where you kind of like buy and sell like crypto stuff that's already being done with Decentraland with their mana tokens.
Yeah, basically. It's well, to be fair, right now we're looking at people trying to get into blockchain gaming.
Oh, jeez. That's going to be another scourge of our time. Oh, yeah, and we all remember PlayStation Home.
Man, our games are going to cause more emissions than we used to think. And
Oh, yeah,
con-
the level of crypto mining that's likely going to happen.
yeah,
But, but yeah, it's like, plus, I also, Mark Zuckerberg was also showing off his avatar, and he just couldn't hide the fact that these look exactly the same as the Microsoft Xbox avatars. And I'm pretty sure it's like Microsoft probably has their own. Actually, we've already saw an earlier article where it's like Epic Games is also planning for their own form of metaverse. So yeah, that's another thing.
yeah,
Uh, but we can't really say that Facebook hasn't been planning this all along because it's been a while since Facebook has purchased the Oculus, which you need.
yeah. Like, look, here's the thing: when you got like tech and corporate dudes working together, you have a lot of weird ideas trying to come together of like how do we get this new tech and then how do we make money on this tech, and sometimes it just causes a lot of bad things to get overlooked because there are dudes who are just like, I want to get this tech out into the market, and it's like maybe this isn't a good idea,
Uh huh.
but then like it is what it is, you know
Oh yeah.
but like I don't know what to say other than yeah,
Yeah, just look
fucking
at the
a. It's
avatars here. They look just like the avatars from Xbox.
they are ugly as sin.
Yeah, this is they're practically the same thing. It's like they're. I guess the main difference is that they actually have eyeballs. That's about it. But
I guess
yeah, this.
that's just what we're gonna have to accept.
But yeah, this is their VR thing where it's like they're also planning on having like VR workrooms and VR home setups. They really are pushing the whole idea that this is going to be like Ready Player One, which, I mean, although technically I would say that we have the technology for it, we're still a long ways off from making it practical.
Yes, we are definitely a long ways off from making almost anything
Because it's
like
like,
that practical.
when you look at Ready Player One, it is a combination of social media, VR chat, and MMO and NFT stuff.
Yeah.
It's a combination of all that stuff. And we already have that all over the place. They're just in separate spots. I mean, VR chat is its own thing. I mean, Second Life is its own thing. But yeah, they're also planning on.
It's
But the whole like
they are their
idea.
own things, but yeah, it's
But yeah, it's like.
it's uh it's not been great here. Not been great.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yes.
Oh yeah. I should probably.
But with everything going on, it's like, what can we exactly, you know, do? But let it kind of have everybody fall flat on their face,
Yeah, that's pretty much
which
what we would
seems
have
to
to
be the
do.
only solution.
I mean, the other thing they want to promise is the whole like
But it
augmented
is.
reality, but it's like we have already seen what that looks like, and it was used as a dystopian short film called Hyper Reality. where it's like
Hyper
everything,
reality.
where like everything's popping out in a holographic form, and it's very eye jarring. Just imagine having to
Sorry, you said I.
yeah, or it's very jarring. It's like sensory overload. I mean, good God, you would need like pop up blockers for your eyebulbs.
Pretty much. That's what it sounds like.
And yeah, and you would kind of see all this stuff anywhere, and this does like provide insight as to like how this might change reality in a way, or our society in a way, where it's like, what if we don't have any real billboards anymore? Everything's just like holographic. That we have to wear these like weird goggle things or eyeglasses things. Because even in the presentation, they admit that they don't have the technology to make these things comfortably worn yet.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still stuck on the giant headgear thing. But yeah, they're trying to make eyeglasses that are for augmented reality, but they're just not there yet.
Yeah, of course.
And that's another thing I gotta point out. It's like we have augmented reality everywhere. Just just look on your Android app store. You'll find augmented reality. Trust me. I mean, you could probably find some augmented reality stuff on QR codes. And I like how this is all coming up right on the heels of Facebook getting investigated yet again.
Hmm?
Because it's like, didn't they have to go through another hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zuckerberg just can't catch a break sometimes. And I guess the only real difference here from between this and Earth2.io is that Facebook at least has the money to pull something like this off, at least get closer to it. But at the same time, that's kind of what we thought about when it came to Amazon making their MMO game. And we all saw how New World turned out like.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
And
It's a brand new world of pain.
yeah,
Look.
it plus I forgot what engine they're using to make all their graphics. And I'm gonna laugh if it turns out to be Unity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they also plan on have it. I mean, they also plan on having the metaverse like enable people to develop stuff within their metaverse.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like another thing with like the whole Ready
So it's
Player
gonna
One.
have like develop. So it's gonna be like for developmental purposes and stuff.
Oh yeah, they plan on. It's like they. It's I'm hard to pressed to find one thing that they didn't promise. It would be easier to find what they won't do with this, but they want people to start like programming games on this stuff or programming software on this stuff, which I have heard of people using VR to program stuff. I mean, it's pretty much point and clicking. Like you also have your VR keyboard and everything for typing out specific code. But yeah, that's another thing that's very comparable to Ready Player One. And I think we've already gone over how they want to do sales and everything. And they definitely want to do NFTs as well. I like how the first thing Zuckerberg promised was that it's going to be nice, safe, and secure. It's like your privacy is going to be very important. It's like, how much of our private data have you been selling off to to foreign entities? But yeah, I think
Yeah.
this video clip here is like part of their presentation where they were demonstrating the educational ability of all of this. In other words, they plan on making edutainment games or edutainment properties, which has already been around even before VR. You don't need VR for that. I mean, you we have streaming services for that.
Oh,
And when it comes to accessibility, you could convert. I mean, with the right peripherals, you could easily convert your own phone into a VR helmet. I mean, it has its own like gyroscope thing where it's like it could determine whether it's looking up or down on all sorts of directions. All you need to do is put that into a headset, run a VR app, and there you go. And maybe use a Bluetooth controller as well. Connect that to the thing. Oh yeah, Horizon Worlds. Let's take a look at that. Expanding new funding to support creators. Garden Gate Meditation. What the hell is that? Mute this just in case they get like a little content claim happy. Oh, you could tell it's VR because they have no lower bodies.
uh, who needs lower bodies in VR? Plus, walking animation's hard.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be very awkward to have like prefab walking lower body animations combined with like the VR like limbs flailing about.
Oh yeah, it would be kind of nuts.
It, and I, oh yeah, there's their world creation tools. It's like, see that you could create your own worlds and customize them.
Yeah.
That was
You can you can create your own worlds and then you can fuck whatever you want on them.
what prepare our actions preparing for elections. Oh dear. I don't even want to go into that thing. All right, empowering people to vote. Well, we just went through our own elections and we already saw how that turned out.
It's been kind of crazy, honestly. Like what's been going on, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. But yeah, I think we've had enough politics for one platform.
Uh, Politics, so good, so cool to talk about it. We all make sense.
And
Politics.
yeah, it's just what more can be said about this. I mean, even if they do pull it off, this is still Facebook we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it's like, and in the presentation, yeah, they do express like this has got to be like freedom of expression and everything. Oh, really? How much? How many people have been banned off your platform?
All of them. I'm banned on everything.
And that's the other. And keep in mind, this is the same Facebook that caused the Resident Evil 4 VR to be censored. So you know there's going to be limitations as to what you're allowed to see or what you're allowed to do on here.
Yeah.
And so on. Even if Facebook does pull this off, it comes down to a question: do we really want them to have this kind of power?
No, we don't.
It's Because
I don't want Facebook to get any more power than it already does.
exactly, it's like it. We are at a point where it's like a lot of things all but require us to do at least something online. And imagine it's like if you have like this whole centralized system where it's like everything has to go through this system first. Because yeah, I could just imagine if this turns into a new standard where you have to be in this whole VR setup thing in order to do business, in order to go to business meetings or go to classes, you'd be stuck trying to you'd be like stuck trying to follow Facebook's guidelines and content policies.
Yeah. Like right now, I'd rather not have to, you know, deal with it.
Yeah, we're already dealing with platforms that have their own set of rules separate from the rules that we usually have. It's like they have their own nations. In fact, oh jeez, you know, for a while I've been thinking of like writing up a my own short dystopian story about like the fallout of having a society that was built around like a VR social media that everyone has to connect to. And it all
Oh,
ends with everyone just living inside concrete tubes that are concrete cubes that have like tubes going through them where they have all their waste and all their intake put in through
well,
tubes. Basically, and everything has to be paid for through a service, including
yeah.
oxygen.
Hmm.
I mean, that's the other thing. It's like, what if you are tied to having to do everything online?
Well, I have a. Well, I thought about. Well, I know that. Honestly, you reminded me of my own pitch for a story I thought about called Build Your Own Dystopia,
Oh, yeah.
which sounds weird, but takes place in a future where drama is so intense. People go to virtual realities not to relax, but to build up something to fight against all the time, just to feel like they matter in society. It's just one of the oddest ideas I think I've had, but I actually like the idea a lot.
Well, that makes more sense than you realized.
Oh,
If you understand Twitter, you probably know, know a lot more about that.
oh, I think I do. I actually thought it was a cool idea, but that's just me. Oh, done.
But
But no, I thought about this idea of like, okay, what would be the worst thing? And that was the worst thing. So, hey, I thought, well, okay, not the worst thing, but I just was thinking, I always thought it would be cool to just be like, uh, you know, what if, like, what would be the worst, you know, what would be an interesting take on dystopian genre since, look, literally most dystopias are basically the same thing, kind of. And I want to do something kind of interesting where it's like, welcome to build your own dystopia where you make your worst nightmare come true and you fight against it, and how people like love that drama of themselves. But that's just my take.
yeah,
But anyway, uh
I actually miss the old school style of the cyberpunk genre because I remember it's like before we started scrapping our own interpretations of the cyberpunk genre. I think one of the points I made about it is that it's the whole idea that it's like deckers or hackers would have to use like these VR goggles,
before we start,
and they're not
well,
wireless. They have to be wired in order to give off the feeling that they're actually being chained into their own cybernetic universe.
uh
I mean, I just like that aesthetic feeling. where it's like it's high tech, but it's also highly restrictive.
Hmm.
I mean, when you get right down,
No, it definitely feels.
yeah, when you get right
It
down,
definitely does feel restrictive on a lot of levels. At least I feel.
I mean, when you get right down to it, it's like my whole pitch in that video is that cyberpunk is the Luddite's worst nightmare realized, where it's like technology has gone so far out of control that it's taken over everything. And there is a little level of stagnation along with it, where it's also kind of brought down society physically and economically to a point where the middle class is slowly dissipating, and you only have like the rich elites who have secured their position and consolidated position, while everyone else is just using old, out of date technology to just try to get by, and that's why everything looks so old and rustic and kind of like flimsy in some ways, even though this is a high tech future.
Yeah.
It's like that's why buildings are still kind of crumbling. They're not well maintained. That's why there are so many gangs and street thugs around with cyborg limbs that look like they were like cobbled together out of junk.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that does. Hmm.
We could be getting to that point.
We could be. I can't wait to start selling bottle caps as money.
Oh, dude, I can't wait to fight in the bandwidth wars.
The bandwidth war.
Oh, jeez. Is we're gonna have drug dealers selling NFTs around the corner?
We all become the drug lords.
Hey, kid, wanna buy a new Fortnite skin?
Yes, totally.
That's the other
Some
thing.
people.
That's the other thing. Most of what Facebook is promising here, we already have in other games.
It's true.
I mean, some were less successful than others, but they're still out there. I mean, for crying you could probably do half of this shit in Roblox.
Yes, yes, you can. The Roblox right now is in the mode of we are dead because, well, I don't know if they're dead, but they had, but the server did crash a little while ago.
Oh yeah, and I'm trying to remember. I think Facebook was hacked recently.
Of course, it was. Did they get all your porn likes?
Probably. Because I remember, yeah, I think it was hacked recently because I remember it was like brought down at one point, and that's another bad side effect in that it also brought down everyone who was using the Oculus for their VR entertainment. So yeah, consider that when you actually get your Oculus. It's like you need your Facebook account in order to use it.
Mhm.
And the other thing, in fact, there were quite a bit of major platforms that got hacked. I know Twitch got hacked, and that led that led everyone to finding out the income levels of every like big socialist pushing Twitch user or Twitch streamer. It's like looking a little bit capitalistic there, buddy.
Look, we all have to embrace the capitalist power.
Yeah, and oh, gee, what else got hacked? Because I'm pretty sure it was like it was Facebook, it was Twitch. Was that the only two?
Maybe more, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that might have been it. Oh yeah, and apparently there was a money laundering scheme that went on with Twitch that got uncovered because of the hack.
Huh.
Yeah, that's the other thing you have to take into account is like not not just your identity security, but also your it's like just basically the security of the company as well. I mean, I wouldn't trust Sony with this kind of stuff, with any data.
Yeah, I right now I don't trust any company with data, but we have to deal with it as best we can.
Oh my god. Plus, I also hate having to sign into things all the time.
Tell me about it.
But yeah, that's that's about it. I mean, I just wanted to do a whole rant on Meta because it's like, because now the big boys are getting in. It is essentially the big boys getting in, and who knows what's gonna happen when Epic Games gets their own metaverse, and you know damn well Microsoft's gonna have to get one of their own too. Google's probably gonna try to get their own metaverse. Amazon will probably have one of those. It's like all the big boys. It's like if this if this gets marginally successful, all the big boys are gonna jump in.
True.
But yeah, got anything else you wanna share?
Not at the moment, but right now right now it's just been kind of crazy. But this is a story you really want to focus on this week. I only had Eternals, which again is just a bad movie.
Yeah, we already front loaded that one.
Oh yeah.
Freaking eternal.
I think we should sign off here and just have a good night.
Yeah, alright. See you in the verse, my friends. Oh wait, wrong failed major project.